You guys have no idea how long it took to make this video. I had so many audio issues that I've been trying to iron out. So hopefully this works. Hello one and all, Ryker here. Today I'm going to show you the last of my yellow builds, which is my status effect build. This is the prototype of the Eclipse Protocol build before that thing was even out. Me and Slappy put this one together, so let's get right on into it. Alright, let's get to our specializations. You're going to want Firewall. There's always someone who walks in front. I know it's a hub area that NPCs need to walk back and forth. Just stop. I do like the background though. Just have this as an option to have as the background whenever you go into your menus. Firewall, you're going to get, I went with LMG, shotgun, and assault rifle, and you get the tactical short grip as well. This all pertains to your firewall skills, which is, signature group acquisition, more firewall ammo acquisition, and increased damage for your flamethrower. Then you get the cluster grenade, and then you get my dyslexia needs to leave me alone. You get enriched magnesium formula, which is 20% burn duration, frontline recovery, 30% health on kill, matrix mesh. I'm not even gonna try and it's that first one. Oh my gosh. Your armor kit recovers 200% armor and 200% health over 10 seconds. Then you come down here where you get a talent, or well, not a talent. You get a shield called a striker shield, which can be used for your flamethrower. That way, you're more protected while using your flamethrower. Personally, I don't use it all that much. And then you have two mods over here for your shield. And then as your unique weapon, you have a sidearm shotgun called the Firestarter. And then you get the Firewall Tactical Link, which allies deal 10% damage to enemies that are within 10 meters of you. Fire response on armor break, apply burn to enemies within 5 meters. Bull Rush, 30% bonus armor during cover-to-cover moves. And then Vital Protection, 50% pulse resistance. Now that we went over your firewall, let's go to the range, or hopefully no one else gets in front of us. All right, so now let's get into our weapons. First, the exotic. Scorpio, Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stats adds more severe debuffs to the target. 2 is poison, 4 is disorient, 6 is shock, and 9, target takes additional damage from all sources. Stats no longer increase. Duration of status effects is based on the percentage of pellets hit on applying the shot. So you want to get up close and personal so that you get as many pellet hits as you possibly can for maximum status effect damage over time. I also have the Lexington here. I rolled mine to have Thunderstrike, I think, or no, this one came naturally with it. So Thunderstrike amplifies weapon damage by 30% to shocked enemies. After 4 kills, applies shock to the next enemy you hit. This is pretty nice, especially with this type of build. And for my sidearm, I'm using the Card Custom. So for the Card Custom, I have an InSync. I really don't use it that much, so it's practically useless. Now let's get into the armor. So for your mask, you're going to want the Vial. Toxic Delivery. Status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. Total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage and increased by your status effect attributes. And since this is a pure status effect, skill haste and skill damage, it's pretty up there. So you're going to want one Hannah U for its skill haste. And then I went with Golden Gear. I got pretty lucky with the skill haste and status effects. So all I had to roll off is my core attribute, which is usually blue for armor, because that's what Golden Gear is actually for. It's for blue armor, but I rolled it for skill tier. And then you're going to want Wyvern Wear, a 3-piece set. So you're going to get skill damage, status effects, and skill duration. Now for the chest piece. Trauma. Applies blind to an enemy hit in the head, cooldown 30 seconds. Applies bleed to an enemy hit in the chest, cooldown another 30 seconds. Then we have, on the backpack, Creeping Death. When you apply a status effect, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. So there is two ways to play this this gear set. I actually play both. Is one to be the first one in with your shotgun, you know, this thing here, apply as many shots as possible to a group of enemies that are right next to each other. That way, it's just pure chaos. And then the other one is to use your more longer range skills. And then there's the more defensive options where you let most of your skills do the talking for you. So my go-tos is the sticky bomb burn variant and the shock traps for defense. This was the lead problem with this build was that I made many of my allies go into therapy because enemies would actually rush in where they were at, and there would be a shock mine next to both the enemy and my ally, causing both to be shocked. It does not care if you are ally, but let's go into the skills. Let's see what you can use with this type of loadout. So sticky bomb, there is the burn variant, and then there's the EMP variant. Both are very useful. There's your shock traps. You have the shock traps, which is your default, and then you have your shrapnel trap, which applies bleed. Then you have your pulse jammer. This is extremely useful. Then for your turret, you have your incinerator turret. Then you have your hive, specifically the bleed one. For the chem launcher, you have your fire starter and the riot foam. Both are very good options here. Then you have the seeker mine airburst one. The only reason why I don't run this is that whenever they see my seeker mine, they just dodge out of the way. But the seeker mine, the airburst variant, has the longest burn duration. So take that as you will. And that is everything for skill wise. Mainly I don't use this set much anymore, especially since, you know, there's Eclipse Protocol, which basically makes this one look like a joke, but it still has its uses. But yeah, this is my yellow build Eclipse Protocol version. It's a very good build, especially if you don't want to run Eclipse Protocol. Don't know why, because it's an awesome set to run. But yeah, this was the last of my yellow builds, because all the rest of my builds are all gear sets, you know, the teal ones. But until next time, this is Ryker telling you to have a good day and a good night.